listening to this in the podcast apps, bear with us for one moment while we allow the stream and the feed to populate.
Another week that I have to deal with you, Rob Dauster. How about that? I'm
I
like
know.
counting them down. I'm like checking them off on my calendar. Like, how many more weeks do I have to do this with Rob Dauster?
Just wait until we start doing this for NBA games as soon as the college basketball season ends.
Oh, shit. I didn't sign up. I did not agree to that with you. I did not agree to that. I'll have to renegotiate my contract.
You know, when we stop talking every single morning about gambling, like there's just going to be a huge void in your life. What are you going to do?
How are you going to do with Carl? You're probably right.
How are you going to deal with that? Like the first time the first morning that you go without coffee, by like 2:00, you just kind of have the shakes. You got a little bit of a headache. So that's what you're going to be dealing with, man. I'm here. I'm helping you out.
I think it's going to be a lot less stress.
Oh, hell yes. Oh, hell yes. All right. So we had
BU and Holy Cross play today. This is a big day. The first of 6 matchups, but we'll get to that later.
With masks on. They're playing with masks on. We had a pretty good day yesterday. I went 3-1. I got Michigan right. I got Minnesota right. I got Houston right, and I got Rhode Island wrong. Nice little bounce back from a Saturday that just was not good. Not good. Brought me down close to even on the season in terms of the money that I've made. I think my record is still under 500. But Jeffrey, you did not do as well. I'm not sure exactly what your numbers are because you bet like 37 games a day. But we do have some things to talk about coming out of last night. Michigan looks like they might actually be the best team in the Big Ten.
I'm not willing to say that yet. I'm not, and that's not the Michigan hater in me. I have 2 nephews who went to Michigan. So I'm actually got a soft spot in my heart for Michigan. I think they're really good. I just think, listen, their biggest wins so far are still at Maryland and Northwestern at home. Let's wait. Let's just kind of chill for a minute on Michigan, and I want to see what they do. Now they're at home this week against Minnesota. Should win that game, right? But Minnesota will be the most talented team they have played to date. I just want to see how they handle the Gophers. If they win that one, I feel a little bit better. I moved them up. I think they're 14 in my top 25. Again, they're really good. They're really good. I don't dispute that. I just feel like I want to see them play a legitimate lock NCAA tournament team. And I'm not ready to call Northwestern a lock NCAA tournament team. Are you?
No, I think that you can make the argument that Michigan has played the 4 worst teams in the Big Ten, depending on what you think of Michigan State, which is a very weird sentence to say. This is the way that I kind of feel about them. And I get the sense that you probably agree, so tell me if you don't. I think that there is a real chance that Michigan is the best team in the Big Ten, but based off of the teams that they've played and the performances that they've had against them, we cannot say that they definitively are the best team in the Big Ten at this point. I'm not going to be surprised if, like, come late February, they're competing for the Big Ten title. In fact, I would probably feel pretty confident in saying that they are going to be in the mix through the whole season near the top of the conference, just because, like, they're already 4-0, right? Yeah. And they get Penn State again. Their next 4 games are Minnesota, Penn State, Wisconsin, Minnesota. So, they could be 6-2 at that point, and then they get Maryland again. So there's a lot of wins that they can get on their schedule before they start playing some of the really, really tough games in the Big Ten. So the one thing I will say is this: I was worried about this matchup with Northwestern because of the ability of Pete Nance to play out on the perimeter and pull Hunter Dickinson away from the basket. And like early on, those concerns appeared to be like somewhat legitimate, and then Franz Wagner goes nuts and. Michigan makes a whole bunch of threes, and then
Hunter's such a stud, man. Hunter Dickinson is so good. I said it last night. Like, I think it's like Jalen Suggs, Kate Cunningham, and to me, and I have Farnham getting on me because he said Cam Thomas over Hunter Dickinson. I'll take Hunter over Cam any day of the week. Cam's a walking bucket, but Hunter just does everything. Like he fills such a void for Michigan and fits every. Like, he plays hard, he runs the court well, he blocks shots, he rebounds, he can score on the post, he can step out. Like, there's not much he can't do as a big.
My question is, are you saying that when you say it's Jalen Suggs, Cade Cunningham, Hunter Dickinson, are you saying like best freshman, or are you
Yeah.
saying like where you would draft them?
No, nothing to do with draft.
Okay.
I'm not drafting
Okay.
Hunter
Okay.
Dickinson ahead of, there's
Okay.
Zaire Williams.
Well,
But
the
I'm
way
saying
you phrased it kind of sounded like that's what you were saying. And I was like, well,
no.
Goodman, pump the brakes, buddy. Pump the
No,
brakes.
I'm taking Hunter Dickinson as a college basketball player. He's been the third best freshman in the country to me.
The only thing that I'll say is this: the Big Ten is loaded with really good bigs, and Michigan has played Northwestern, Maryland, Nebraska, and Penn State, and there's no good bigs on any of those rosters. I don't
I'm
know.
not worried. I've seen Hunter Dickinson play enough. I'm not. He'll have his ups and downs, but he's not going to all of a sudden be exposed by too many people in the Big Ten. Yeah, I mean, listen, Garza and even Kofi.
Well,
I think Kofi's going to have more trouble with Hunter Dickinson than Hunter's going to have with Kofi.
we'll see. The big thing is like Kofi's thing is always ball screen defense, and when you don't have to put him in ball screens, he lost them like he did against Purdue. When you do have to put him in ball screens, then Illinois loses to Missouri. So that's kind of
By the way,
there are no secrets with Kofi Cockburn at this point.
If you don't talk about Drake before we get to today's games, you're an absolute hater.
Well, here's the thing, but there's a Drake segue available because the next game that Hunter Dickinson plays is against Liam Robbins and Minnesota, and we don't have to spend too long on Minnesota, but I do just want to say that I thought it was incredibly impressive that the Gophers went up against a team like Chris Holtmann threw everything that he could at Marcus Carr to try to shut him down. And like he was 3 for 12. He didn't take a shot for like the first 16 minutes of the game. It was the only thing that Andy Katz was on the broadcast. And Minnesota still won. Liam Robbins, 27. It was 27 points, 15 boards, 5 blocks, 4 assists, 2 steals, which is not a bad day at the office, Goodman. Gabe Kalsher made shots. Both Gotch made shots. And Jamal Mashburn Jr. made shots. And, if Minnesota is a team.
Booth Gotch. What did you call him?
I said Booth Gotch.
All right, I'm just making sure. Just making sure you get it right.
Like phone booth and gotcha. That's the way that I think about it. Phone booth and gotcha. When those guys are making shots and Liam Robbins is playing the way that he played last night.
Where's Henkel? Where's Henkel Fieldhouse?
That is in Ames, Iowa. It's where the Suns play. It's where Fred Hoiberg made magic.
Henkel.
It's the house that George Niang built.
No, that's Hilton. That's Hilton. Henkel is the butler in Indianapolis.
Can we talk about Minnesota? Can we talk about Minnesota?
Yes.
I mean, you've been on them. Tell me about them. What do you think? How impressed were you?
Yeah, listen, I like the job that Holtmann did. He was trapping. He was doing whatever he could to get the ball out of Marcus Carr's hands. But the one thing Holtmann didn't have an answer for is Liam Robbins. Why? Because Holtmann's got a bunch of like 6'7" undersized bigs. And Liam Robbins is what? He's long. He's athletic. I think it's more, honestly, watching last night, I think it was more an indication of Ohio State and how limited they are and what a great job Chris Holtmann does, because they need a big, long, athletic big, number one, and they need a guy who can do something off the bounce, namely a DJ Carton type of player. They don't have either. So if Chris Holtmann can get this team, which he will, because he's an incredible coach, if he can get him to the NCAA tournament.
There it is. We went 12 minutes in the stream without the Goodman note.
We did.
And now we got the day is made.
It's somebody texting me and saying if they send me a hat of their school, I'm not going to say which school, that will I wear it on the podcast. I think they're getting tired of the Cal hat. But listen, to all watching, the Cal hat has brought you money and me luck. So I will say this.
I will say this. Someone was in our mentions, the mentions on the Field of 68 Twitter account yesterday. It's like, does Goodman sleep in that Cal hat? What's going on here?
If I lost every game, it would be long gone, and it would have been long gone a month ago. But frankly, I'm gonna keep it going. But all right, should we get it?
You want to get into tonight's slate?
Yeah, let's do it.
Start. We get a 3:00 tip in the Pac-12.
Yeah, we do. We got Stanford at Oregon State. hardly a riveting matchup, but we'll take the matinee here. And Zaire Williams, if you haven't seen him, you should. He's going to be a lottery pick. He hasn't set the world on fire yet, but Stanford's a kind of a well-balanced team, and Zaire's not a guy who's going to go out there and average 20. That's not his game. He's one of those kind of multi-dimensional forwards that we're seeing that I think will get better in time. His shot will get better. That's probably the biggest drawback of Zaire Williams right now, but I like Stanford here. I know they're at Oregon State. They're given 6.5. I don't love it, but if you're telling me I gotta pick somebody here, I'm gonna take Stanford.
Yeah, I think it's a good buy low spot for Stanford because they just kind of got waxed on the road on Saturday night at Oregon, and Oregon State is just like they're bad, dude. They've beaten Cal twice, so they're 2-0 in the Pac-12, and they have they're only 1-1 because they also lost to Washington State, but they are 5-3 season, and their wins are. You ready for this? Cal twice, UT San Antonio, Portland State, and something called Northwest.
Northwest, man. I don't know what Northwest is either, but
those are their wins this season. And Stanford, I know that they struggled against Oregon and they lost to North Carolina, Indiana. Like they didn't have a great run in the Asheville Invitational, but they can really, really defend. And I don't know who on Oregon State they're just not very good. So I think this is the perfect buy low spot for Stanford in a little afternoon matinee on a Monday.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And the other biggest game, well, there's really only there's three. I'll give you three big games. The biggest one is probably West Virginia, Oklahoma State, in a game in which West Virginia was terrible over the weekend, but fought back at least in the second half, right? And to me, the biggest question mark becomes, well, number one, I dropped West Virginia down after that loss to Oklahoma, partially because they lost Big Sheep. He's done. He's probably going to hit the transfer portal from what I'm told. But also because they really don't have any wins that you look at and you're like, wow, like their best wins. I believe their best win has been VCU. So far, they've beaten a lot of decent teams, but the Richmond win looked a lot better when they beat Richmond. Western Kentucky looked pretty good until Western Kentucky lost to Charlotte the other day. They've beaten Georgetown, North Texas, a lot of good teams. Iowa State, just no tournament teams. So I still wonder how good West Virginia is. But having said all that, I will take West Virginia tonight over Oklahoma State. I will. I think they're the better overall team, and I think they're going to bounce back from that Oklahoma State loss. And Culver's going to give Oklahoma State fits.
Yeah, I like West Virginia in this spot too. The line has moved it opened at -3 and it's down to -1. And it's interesting because West Virginia kind of changed a little bit the way that they wanted to play without Sheway there, and I think that makes sense when you lose a guy like him. But they get more kind of 4 outlooks and kind of went 4 around Derek Culver, and it didn't work in the first half. It really worked in the second half. If I was going to tell you that Brady Manick, Austin Reeves, and Devion Harmon combined to go 3 for 19 free on a night where West Virginia shot 14 for 24 from 3, and West Virginia lost, you probably wouldn't think that was a thing. And the reason the comeback didn't happen, they were held off, is because a kid that averaged 7 points a game, I hope I'm going to pronounce his name right, Umoja Gibson, had 29 points off the bench and hit 8 threes.
Yeah,
he entered the game.
Yeah,
he entered the game with 50 points on the season, and he scored 29 points in one game off the bench. So I don't want to say calling that a lucky win is I don't like using the word luck in situations like that, but it was a little bit of a fluky result, and one where I think overall, if that game plays out 100 times that same way, West Virginia probably wins it 65 or 70% of the time. So I like West Virginia in a bounce back spot here. And the big thing is that we are going to see Cade Cunningham hopefully go up against Gabe Osabuohien, who was one of the best defenders in college basketball. And I'm really interested to see how Cade deals with a guy like Osabuohien. I don't think he's going to be an NBA player, but he's like an NBA defender in the sense that he's 6'6" and he's strong as hell, and he can guard point guards all the way up to centers. He's exactly the kind of guy that you want matched up against Cade Cunningham. I think we're going to get a little bit of a taste of what Cade can be at the next level in the game. So I'm really excited to watch that matchup.
I also liked West Virginia played Miles McBride a lot more with Jordan McCabe. And I think their offense runs a lot better that way. So I think West Virginia, again, I'm not saying they're going to be a top 10 team this year. And both these teams are right around 20 for me right now. So you look at it and say, hey, you take the home team, take Oklahoma State in this one. I don't know. I just feel like West Virginia is going to bounce back and beat Oklahoma State here. So
and keep in mind, Oklahoma State should have lost over the weekend. They got a ridiculous foul call on Cade Cunningham on a three where he hit 3 free throws to tie the game at the end of the game. Like that was.
I slighted Maryland and Indiana fans with picking that West Virginia game over Oklahoma State, but it is the best game of the day. It is.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't even think it's a question. Like we can talk about Maryland and Indiana now. I think I like the Terps in this spot.
Ooh, look at you!
I think I do. Plus 4.5.
Well, last time you had Mark Turgeon fired before they went out there and
I did. So, I did.
You like the Terps?
I kind of think Indiana's not good.
Yeah, I don't love them either, but I don't love Maryland. Maryland's just playing well lately. Like that's the one thing I'll say is Maryland's got some confidence.
I mean, they're not even playing well. They're 1-3 in the Big Ten. It's not even like they're playing well. But so my thing is that I just don't know how Indiana is going to be able to score with the way that Maryland wants to play. Like we saw them do a good job, especially in the second half against Micah Potter and Nate Reavers. And everything that Indiana does is basically run through Trace Jackson Davis. So my one concern is that like Trace has been a lot better when he's going up against smaller big guys, which is what Dante and the like are going to end up being. But I think that the switching that Maryland can do defensively, you can really take out of what they want to do. And honestly, like I don't think that Indiana is really all that good this year. I think they're just very, very, very average.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say to all that is I think Maryland needs like everything they have, and they're going to be without Darryl Morsell. Broke a bone in his face. Yeah, he broke a bone in his face. So he's out. So Hakeem Hart's starting in place of him. So that's where, to me, I think Maryland's just thin to begin with, right? They don't have a lot. And not that Morsell's a guy that's going to put up 20, but he's a critical piece for them.
You're right. That changes it. So I'm staying away. I'm just staying away then.
I'm going to take Indiana.
Mitchell, I revoke that pick. I take that pick back. Take it off of my chart. I'm not betting that game. Take it off of my chart.
Yeah, he'll be out. So I'm gonna take the Hoosiers there. I'm gonna double down on my loss yesterday. I had my first under 500 day for a while, and part of it was I took Northwestern, which I regret, and the other one was Southern Illinois. I took Southern Illinois to at least stay within 11 of Drake, and it didn't happen. Drake stayed undefeated. Darian DeVries has done an unbelievable job there, and they're pounding teams. They're not just winning games; they are pounding teams. But I'm gonna say that Southern Illinois comes back. Brian Mullins tweaks the game plan a little bit, and they stick within 11 this time.
Well, the spot that we've been looking for all season long is those back-to-backs and fading the fading team that cover. Yeah, and I've been very successful doing it. And there's 4 spots today where I think that we can be able to capitalize on this. The first is going to be Siena and Monmouth. They're playing again. They played on Sunday. Siena won 78-77. Monmouth was able to in that spot. But I do like Monmouth here again because Siena had not played a game all season long, and now they're playing a back-to-back. Yeah.
I'm with you. So I like Monmouth there too.
I like Monmouth plus 4 in that spot. I also like the under in that spot. Again, back-to-back, a team that hasn't played all season long. I don't think this is going to be a game that hits 75 or 76 possessions.
Where's your Colorado State? Where's your Colorado State, San Diego State one?
Oh, it's coming right now. I like San Diego State minus 8.
Me too.
Look, San Diego State got embarrassed. That's the biggest comeback of the year. It's one of 5 times in the last decade where a team will race a 26-point deficit on the road. San Diego State, I guarantee that Brian Fletcher was not very happy. It probably sucked being in practice yesterday for San Diego State. So I really like the Aztecs in this spot. Also, shout out to Tim Miles, Mind of Miles podcast. Go and listen to that because he had Nico Medved on today, and you also want to hear you gotta hear and see Tim's Manscaped ad. It's quite funny. You already mentioned the Salukis plus 11.
Yep.
I don't think we really need to go into that. And
what was the fourth one?
Fresno State minus 2.5 against Wyoming. Fresno State is coming off of a loss on Saturday against Wyoming, and they are playing in beautiful Laramie, Wyoming.
And you're taking Fresno to bounce back here.
Yeah, I'm taking Fresno to bounce back.
Staying away from that one.
Actually, I'm sorry. I lied. That game is in Fresno. It's in California.
I was going to say, there's no way it's in Fresno, and it's only 2.5. I mean, in Wyoming, it's only 2.5.
Yeah, it's not in Laradise. I'm sorry. I got that one wrong, guys. Please, Laradise.
You have to make a pick on the BU Holy Cross game because this is it's going to be interesting. Only because have you seen any team yet this season other than a high school team play with masks on?
I've seen players play with masks on. I have not seen a team play with a mask on.
The entire Boston University team will be playing with a mask on, and they're mandated to do so. And every team they play is mandated to do so. So BU Holy Cross will play today, the first of 6 matchups between the two schools this season, and they will be doing so wearing masks, the entire team, both teams. So it'll be interesting. I don't know if they're I assume they're the only Division I teams that are doing this. I got to imagine there's a D2, a D3, a JUCO, not a JUCO, but probably a D2 or a D3 team somewhere out there. Probably multiple ones if they're even playing that are playing with masks.
Yeah, most of the D3 schools that I pay attention to are not playing this season. There's a lot of coaches that I'm friends with at that level that are right now having extended times off to be able to research stuff on YouTube. It's great. Like I don't know if I want to say the guy's name, but like I'll get texts from people of like YouTube videos breaking down like different offenses. Like, hey, check this out. This is what I'm researching today. It's like, well, sounds thrilling. It sounds like you need something better to do with your time. All right, so that line is BU minus 9.5. I'm all over BU there. My wife is a BU alum. Got it all in.
Yeah, I was at Holy Cross practice.
All in.
Yeah. So they're good. They got a good freshman. But I do agree with you. I think BU minus 9.5, especially since they've been, playing with those masks on, practicing with them probably the entire time. Like Holy Cross was practicing with them, but it's a little bit different, right? You're pulling them down at times. It's not the same. BU legitimately, I'm sure, isn't taking their masks off at all the entire practice, preparing for their game. So I think they're going to have a significant advantage there, and I'll take BU as well.
I like it. I like the logic, Goodman. As always, it's the Field of 68 Best Bets podcast. If you're still listening at this point, please rate it, review it, subscribe to it, share it, tell people about it. I know we did not have a great weekend, but generally speaking, we have been a very profitable podcast for the people that pay attention. Mitchell, I did not take Maryland. Cancel that. Cancel that.
Who did you take?
Get it out of there. I'm staying away.
Who'd you take?
So I have West Virginia minus 1. I have Stanford minus 6.5. I'm staying away from Maryland, Indiana. Then I went Monmouth plus 4, San Diego State minus 8, Southern Illinois plus 11, and Fresno State minus 2.5.
All right, I got and you also went BU, didn't you?
Oh yeah,
and BU. We have a lot of the same ones. I also have West Virginia. I also have Stanford. I also have Monmouth. I also have Southern Illinois. I have Indiana, adding Indiana to that. BU, we're on the same page there. And I believe that is it. Yeah, I'm scared. This means I'm with you on too many picks today. But hopefully we'll win you guys some money. And every single day, every weekday, remember, best bets, 9 a.m. And on weekends, I allow Dauster to sleep in a little bit late, and we have that 10 a.m. start on Saturday.
Sleep in. Yeah, okay. I got 2 kids, man. Sleep in. Right.
All right, I sleep in.